Okay, folks, now when it comes to House of Payne, I've talked about this, but it was months ago. And looking at where the show's going, or at least what we do know based off synopsis and whatnot, number one, season 15 was filmed a long time ago. I want to say maybe late spring of this year. So the next season of House of Payne got filmed a while ago. So next year, we're good. We got more episodes next year. And we also know Laura is coming back in the next season. But on top of that, in case you were doubting me for whatever reason, considering she was in the video that Lance posted of season 15 when they were doing filming and she was there. Episode 17, a chicken dinner of this season, which airs in a couple of weeks. Calvin is determined to fix his relationship with Laura, so it's not over yet. And when I look at the videos I do, which, yet again, just thank you all who show up and show out. I know the majority doesn't necessarily agree with my takes on Laura, but the fact that you all love the show so much. I know a lot of people don't like the direction of where the show is going or where it is since the revival started. But considering House of Payne produces the most popular videos on my channel, yes, above Zatima, yes, above Sisters, that says something. But I just wanted to say this much. When I think about what this show is ever since the revival, it's always been fans wondering, what about Miranda and Calvin? Are they going to get back together? Because even no matter what, whenever I use a thumbnail with Miranda or Calvin, that video is bound to do numbers. And I know I post a lot, and I love how people don't say, oh, you're just saying the same thing over and over. Each video is a specific topic. I might post 6 Miranda videos at the same time, but each video is about a different element of her character. Or Calvin and his relationship with her, or Laura and Miranda, whatever. But some people are saying that if Calvin and Miranda end up together or get back together, the show is doomed, and the writers know that. I don't necessarily agree with that, because when you look at the original series, they got married. And they were married up until the last episode when Miranda walked out. I mean, technically then they were still married. She just walked out. But I'll say that this show could in fact survive if Calvin and Miranda got back together, but they need to make some changes. And by that I mean they need more sets. They need to bring back some of the older characters, because that's what made the original work. It had so many different ingredients that made the show work. Yeah, there were different characters who you can put in different tiers of who was more of a popular character or who had more meat on the bone when it came to their plots. Like some people had bigger stories than others. But when you had the barbershop crew, the firehouse crew, going to college with Malik, or going to Janine's office and this, that, and the third, there were so many different ingredients. And we didn't we even go to the church at times too? So there were moments where I'm like, that's what made the original work. There were different cogs in the machine. It wasn't always the same thing every episode. And when it comes to the current series, I think Calvin and Miranda being back together, things could continue on in a healthy fashion. But the problem is, ever since the show came back, it's been about when are Calvin and Miranda getting back together. But the problem is, even though these two could get back together, I'm sure fans would love to have scenes where Calvin and Miranda are at family functions and, they're, doing their thing with the kids, and maybe Miranda moves back into the condo. But the thing about it is that none of the other characters in the show have storylines that are worth following. I mean, this last episode pretty much showcased that with the whole Curtis and Floyd thing, the barbecue. For as much as people want to say, oh, well, the Calvin and Laura Miranda thing is so played out and repetitive, I have said this countless times as well. The Curtis and Floyd barbecue crap, I love the idea. One of my favorite episodes pertaining to this storyline was the one where I thought they were getting their own restaurant. Because finally, I know fans were like, hey, I read the synopsis and I saw the trailer. I bet we're going to get a new set now, and we never did. Do you know how awesome it would have been to just have a new set? Man. But no, they didn't. But it's just the same thing every episode. Hey, here's a get rich quick scheme. Well, not even a get rich quick scheme. It's Floyd trying to use modern methods of PR, whether it be social media or getting on the news and whatnot. But then Curtis lets his own selfishness and whatnot get in the way. And if anything, Floyd ought to just attach himself to someone else who has a product, use his people person skills, and get rich that way. Because Curtis is just like, he's never going to expand. And even when he does try to, he messes it up. So it's just ridiculous. Ella, I love the storyline of her trying to find things, of her church. Well, her church journey, considering she tried to help out that one woman married to that deacon who was abusive, but that got resolved a bit too quickly over the course like 3 episodes. I loved her going to other churches and whatnot, but that's the problem. This show is mostly, or this series is mostly tell, not show, and that's due to the fact that it's so limited due to the sets. And I don't know if it's due to the ratings or if Tyler just felt the House of Payne revival didn't need the same level of attention as the sisters or, Oval, because heck, that's what makes this such a shell of the former show. Because the old show, it felt like sometimes we go to like 5 different locations over the course of 20 something minutes. But in this show, some episodes, it feels like, well, we're going to spend 18 minutes in the condo and 2 minutes at Curtis and Ella's house. It's like, what? And so Ella did have some decent storylines, but unfortunately, they don't really, hold a lot of weight because it just seems like everything is revolving around her and Laura and whatnot now. CJ and Janine, their whole marital issues, that's good. It's development. I mean, it just shows that they don't have the picture perfect marriage. Some fans think they've gone through some stuff, and it's realistic because, hey, they're older, but they still deal with stuff. Rarely we get the twins, Hayden and Jaden. I wish Malik and Lisa had their own spot too. That would work. Give us a new location and character dynamics. Jasmine, Jasmine is pretty popular. Yeah, Jasmine, I think she is the most popular character. It's just that when it comes to Calvin and Miranda are a package deal. But in terms of which specific character is the most popular, it's Jasmine. She has something going on, but it's really just Jackson. That's the dude's name, Jackson. So and then I love Malik and his political career. That's pretty fun. So there are some elements, but it just does not help that the show hasn't added more sets. It's sad because the show could thrive. I keep saying this. I mean, keep in mind, let's say Calvin and Miranda get back together. Well, guess what? That means in the future, they could have a wedding. Now, granted, a lot of fans have speculated for a long time that perhaps on Calvin and Laura's wedding day, and keep in mind, this is pre-Calvin, here's the ring back for the umpteenth time I'm leaving in the, a couple episodes ago. But yeah, the day they get married, they're going to do a reverse Uno, or basically replay what happened on Calvin and Miranda's original wedding day. Hey, this couple is supposed to get married, but it's a, double wedding. Some say, oh, Laura is getting, kicked to the curb. He's going to get back together with Miranda. Or maybe it's a double wedding where Malik gets married to Lisa alongside Calvin and whoever he marries. But I think that it could work where these two don't necessarily need to get remarried right away. I think them getting back together makes sense in terms of a relationship. I don't think they necessarily need to get married just because Calvin still loves Miranda. But I know the show would still do something like this. But keep in mind, potential storylines are like Miranda and Janine having an episode where they, bond more. Where it's like Janine being happy that she, or giving Miranda, advice or just comfort, knowing like, hey, I know what it's like to get a divorce and be, on the outside of the family, but then get reacclimated into it so I can help with that. And to be honest, though, Miranda has always been such a constant presence that it doesn't even feel like she left the family, so to speak. Or you can do a video or episode where, it's a double date, Calvin and Miranda and Pookie and his wife. So there is a lot of potential. There is a lot of potential for making this show work, even if Calvin and Miranda get back together. Because I always think back to this one. I think, what was it? The E! Hollywood Story, or it was some documentary on Saved by the Bell. And the writer was like, I know fans are always, man, back in the days of fan mail and stuff. Yeah, we would get thousands of letters from fans saying, oh, why did Zach and Kelly have to break up? And it's like, well, if Zach and Kelly get together, there's no story. I've never agreed with that. Because I will admit, there are certain characters that if they're tied down, they lose what makes them, oh, he's a player, or he's like, someone who doesn't take life seriously. So having him tied down to one girl would make him more serious and things like that. But Zach and Kelly have potential to work without all the drama. Like, Kelly cheating with her boss at the max, or in the college years getting with the professor, and then just a few episodes later she and Zach get married. It's like, wait, what? So I think that when it boils down to it, House of Payne can thrive even if Calvin and Miranda got back together and or got married. It's just that they need to utilize the scripts better, and it wouldn't hurt to add a couple of new sets. That way the story isn't just fueled by Calvin and Miranda. The other characters can have worthwhile plots too. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.